fantastic Friday, and you are locked into the stew. We're so happy to have you with us once again. Welcome. I'm Les.
I'm Anika.
I'm Janae.
And boy, do we have a good show in store for you. Paradise Plates is this weekend, and an extra special guest will be in studio to tell us about it. We've got arts and entertainment and a whole lot more. But you know what? Let's get to the nitty-gritty and the heart of the matter and what's happening in our own neck of the woods. Janae, what's going on with Carnival?
First of all, you really like this heart of the matter.
I do.
I
The
think
meat
it's
of
real
the matter,
cute.
actually.
No, it's oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it's really cute.
It's the meat of the matter.
But staring away from the point, the Carnival results are out, and $8.1 million is what the government spent on Carnival. But what was really shocking is that the revenue that came in did not even come close to what was spent. So the question was, what did this even make sense? Mr. Major said that this wasn't a revenue exercise. It was to stimulate the economy, get persons get them on the island, and get them spending money and all that good jazz. You know, they fluff it up all the time.
Yeah.
But the actual case here is, did this even make sense? Where could this money have gone? I will reserve my comments, but ladies, I'd love to hear what you think.
Well, before I give you my comments, I just want to drop some numbers on you. You mentioned the $8.1 million subsidy from the government. They ended up spending $9.8 million, and the actual budget was $7 million, but that was $2 million less than the first year, but that was still over budget.
Yeah.
And what they took in terms of revenue and ticket sales was just a little over 578,000.
Wow.
My thinking is, okay, even if the intent was not for this to be a revenue generating initiative, that ratio to me is so incredible and unbelievable. And did it really stimulate the economy? Because let's be real, how many people did go out and participate in Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival?
I feel two ways about it. You know, I think that it is a little early to decide whether this carnival thing is a success or a failure. This is now the second year.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to take us a long time before we can see some profits, before we can see people traveling and looking forward to coming to the event. I do think that by the second year, this year, for instance, I have seen a lot more people on the road. More Bahamians are letting their guards down. More Bahamians are no longer bashing the event, but are actually, realizing that, okay, this can be fun and I want to participate. I do, however, feel on the other side that the money could have been spent elsewhere. You know, Mr. Major said something about the vendors were the real persons who walked away with something great, but I beg to differ, because when they had the Carnival Village and people were, going out to Arawaki to watch the performances, there were complaints of no one came to the Carnival Village to spend money with the vendors, for food and artifacts, but they went to the concerts, which were either free or probably just $10 to get in. So I'm a little conflicted in that, because the money could be spent on things like Junkanoo or education or sports. I mean, we know that there's a long list of things that we could have done.
Right up and now, getting the air condition working at PMH, which we also know is in the news right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It is a very premature decision to say whether, it's profitable or not to continue. It's just the second year. But for me, I was just a little like, whoa, ratio 500,000 to 9.8 million. That just doesn't even, there's just no comparison.
I would love to see the numbers from countries like Trinidad and all these other places that have done Carnival for so many years. And I would love to see how long it took them to benefit from something like that, because I do think that it has some value. If you're bringing people to your shores, filling up the hotels like Mr. Major mentioned.
Well, Anika, we all know too, I don't know if you've heard, but Brazil had to cancel their carnival because the economy was so bad they could not simply sustain that.
Okay.
So it's interesting that you bring that up, because really and truly, do some of these carnivals make money? And can the government, can they actually pay to put on this production? So that's a thought process that I think our heads have to get the wheels turning on. will this ever bring a profit? Will we be able to sustain it? I mean, it's here, it's done. How can they improve it? That would be what I'd like them to think about. Can we improve it? Does it make sense? Just really think about this logically.
We want to hear from you. You know, a lot of Bahamians have felt very passionate about the fact that the money could be spent on Junkanoo, which has been a part of our culture for so very long, and which is so very important to Bahamians and very important to me even. Although I went to Carnival, I mean, Junkanoo is so very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure to thousands of Bahamians. So we really want to hear from you. Do you think that this is something that we should continue to dive into and try to make money from and try to bring people to our shores for, or if this is something where we just need to say, you know what, let's scrap it. Let's put this money into things like Junkanoo or into our summer festivals and things like that. Follow us on Twitter and on Facebook on ILTV Studios and tell us what you think. We are dying to discuss that with you.
Yeah,
exactly. So another thing in the news this week was that 55,000 people are registered to vote. And in relation to how many persons are in our country, that's little to nothing. That's 34%, I believe the statistic is, of the amount of voters in the country.
Yeah, that's another startling statistic to say the least. Although I gotta say, knowing the culture of my people, we are very last minute, and most likely elections won't be until April, May, June, somewhere around that time
about 8
next
months
year.
now,
So most likely people will register to vote closer to the time. I just get a feeling that a lot of people, especially after that poll that came out recently regarding how individuals would vote, whether it be PLP, FNM, those results were so dismal. Just based on that alone, I can see why people may be feeling, let me wait this out a little bit. Let me see who's going to put forth a convincing enough argument for me to vote PLP, FNM, DNA. I think that's probably what's happening here.
Exactly.
Just saying.
And the disappointing results from the referendums. I mean, we've already had 2, and none of them really turned out favorably.
Not at all.
And you would think that the numbers, the registered voters, the numbers would be higher, given that we've had that, but they're not.
I feel like Bahamians are definitely going to come through in the last minute for real, because they won't miss an opportunity to really let the government know how they feel, and whether that's voting them out or, you know, however that may turn out. I feel like they won't miss that opportunity to really voice how they feel. At the same token, I'm sure people are frustrated, like I've described already, that although I've voted twice before, I don't feel enthused at all about voting. But we would like to encourage every Bahamian that if you have the ability to vote, please do go out, register to vote. It is absolutely important to have your voice be heard by voting in the upcoming elections and any opportunity you get.
And speaking of numbers, ladies, I want to throw some more happy numbers.
Happy numbers, yes,
Switching
please.
gears, right? Recently, Kevin Hart, comedian Kevin Hart, has been named the highest earning comedian that's out there, dethroning Seinfeld. And you know, I love numbers, so let me throw this out to y'all.
So numbers, girl.
He is apparently worth about $87.5 million, which is over $30 million from Seinfeld. And I get it, you know, he does a lot of tours, he does a lot of endorsements,
movies.
He's got movies, TV specials, and I love the fact that Kevin Hart is someone that has partnered with so many other great actors like Will Ferrell, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ice Cube. And just looking at some of his information recently, Kevin Hart has literally made at least 2 to 3 movies annually since 2002.
Wow. That's
Whether he has voiced something or appeared as a cameo or something, he's been involved in at least 2 to 3 projects each year. Do you have any idea what that is for an actor?
That's what you call great work ethic. I love Kevin. Let me tell you,
that's crazy.
I've watched so many interviews with him, and one of the things that's been so apparent across all of those interviews is, one, his work ethic. You know, he talks about being so focused on the goal, and more importantly, having a clear head. So he talks a lot about, I don't get drunk. Or if I'm gonna get drunk, I have my driver take me. You know, I'm not gonna be sloppy. And so when you hear him talk and you hear him talk about the business side. That's what I like about him. I think a lot of people don't realize that, for instance, he has a Nike shoe, he has run with Hart. And so he's doing a lot of incredible and amazing initiatives. I think that helped to make up those big numbers. So congratulations to Kevin Hart. Let me tell you, we're going to have you for Stew on the Go at some time in the future. I'm speaking that into existence. But incredible numbers. And it's always great to see a Black man doing it. Because we've seen so many news about African Americans or even some African American celebrities who get famous and do crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Or like
fall
you
off
look
the
at
wagon.
or like Cat Williams, who was to me one of the funniest comedians of our time. And then every time he's in the news now, it's for something
negative.
But what's nice too is that there's always a Black individual who makes the top of any genre. Right? There's also, on the flip side of that, there are a lot of Black people that are trailblazing these sectors. Kevin Hart has surpassed. Seinfeld has been to the top since Forbes has come out with a funny category. So now that for him to be the second person on that list ever. Is great for him. We've got them in sports, in basketball, in football. I really want to encourage and say that. We are making so many moves.
Can I just say, I don't know if I'd mentioned to you ladies before, film and TV, that's my thing. I love it to death. But I absolutely have a special passion or love, I should say, for computer animated films. Yes, I do. And Kevin Hart voiced Snowball in The Secret Life of Pets. And he did
thanks, Leslie, for that. You're right.
Amazing job. So I see where this
we're going to bring up the cats again. We got to go. The cats are coming out. So after the break, you'll see Zeleka Knowles here. With us, we're going to be talking to her about Paradise Plates coming up this weekend. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Welcome to The Stew. In this segment, we've got a special guest in studio. She's the executive director of Hands for Hunger, and we're so happy to have her here. Come out, Zeleka! Yay!
Welcome, gorgeous.
Hello. So nice to have you.
All right.
Okay, so Zeleka, as we know, Hands for Hunger is a humanitarian effort dedicated to eliminating hunger. What more can you tell us about Hands for Hunger for those that are not familiar?
Okay, so Hands for Hunger was started 8 years ago by a young Bahamian woman. And our mission is to eliminate unnecessary food waste. So we pick up fresh surplus food from places that would have otherwise thrown it away. Places like that Atlantis or, big restaurants and even smaller ones donate to us. So we pick up that food and then we distribute it to community agencies who then feed members of their community.
Good stuff, good stuff. I'm so happy that Hands for Hunger has come around, I gotta say, because years ago I do remember being in an environment where I'd see a lot of food wastage and I'd think, oh no, this is so horrible. And then yes, Hands for Hunger was started, so way to go, Alana.
So fun fact, Hands for Hunger since inception has delivered over 1 million meals.
Exactly.
How does that feel? What kind of accomplishment is that for the organization itself?
So it's we're extremely proud of that. In over the course of 8 years, to have picked up and delivered 1 million pounds of food.
New goals. I like that.
But it's okay.
Yeah, no, we're extremely proud of that. But what that really says is that it's the work of our drivers who are on the road 6 days a week, and then also the entire community that comes together to donate this food to us, and then the community organizations that we work with that then deliver it. So yeah, it's really a community effort.
Tell us a little bit about the process, the actual process of collecting the food and who exactly is it distributed to?
Okay. So we are on the road, like I said, 6 days a week. Our drivers call an agency early in the morning and they find out what food there is to be rescued that morning. And so they go there. We have volunteers who ride on the trucks with the drivers. So they go to those agencies and they pick up and they pack sometimes. If it's like freshly cooked food, they pack it in aluminum trays, pack it on the truck, and then they figure out where they're going to distribute it to. And there's actually like a science to it because, you know, if you have a lot of sugary food, then you may not take it to the home for the elderly.
Right.
You know, so things like that. So they have to kind of balance out what they're delivering and to whom.
Yeah.
So we take the milk to the children's homes, things like that. You know?
So you talk a lot about your volunteers and the role that they play in distributing food. How can people become a volunteer and assist with such a great initiative like this?
Yeah, so you can actually just contact us on our website or give us a call at the office. We have a roster of about 1,000 volunteers.
Wow.
So when I say that this is like a team effort, it really is a community coming together to assist us.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they then just jump on the truck and they assist the drivers for the full day.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have other activities as well that we use volunteers for throughout the year. So it's like I said, a very community-oriented organization. Yeah.
Now, Paradise Plates is an event I look forward to. I attended last year, and it was my first Paradise Plates, and I was so thrilled and excited by all the food, the display of art and talent at that event.
Yes.
What can people look forward to this year, especially if they've been last year?
Okay, so I'm super excited about Paradise Plates this year. So we have, the Atlantis has hosted us in their biggest ballroom, so we're going to be in the Imperial Ballroom this year. So that also shows that the organization and Paradise Plates itself has grown over the course of the past 8 years. So we're going to be in the biggest ballroom. Wildflowers has pulled out all the stops in terms of decorating the room. Zaymar has a lot of surprises in terms of the entertainment and the DJ. I think that's all I'm going to say, so you got to come and see it.
My dance moves.
There you go. And so we also have like 34 chefs this year that are going to be participating in Paradise Plates. So the event has grown in that sense. We're also bringing in Family Island chefs, which we're extremely excited about.
Oh, that's amazing.
Would that be the
So-
first time for that?
It is. It's the first time we're able to showcase a restaurant in Eleuthera called 1648 and a restaurant in Highborn Key called Exuma. So we're really excited for that. And then we're bringing a Bahamian chef in from the United States. So yeah, it's growing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know?
What are some of the goals, for the initiative? You've fed so many people over the course of 8 years, and you accidentally said 8 million, which I think was an accident, but a great accident because that's a great goal to have. But what are some of the goals that Hands for Hunger has for the next year and next 5 years?
Yeah. As long as there are people who are hungry in the Bahamas, then our work is not done yet. You
Yeah.
know, so we're very much aware of that, of like this cautious celebration of 1 million pounds of food, because like you said, we're trying to like expand and get bigger and collect much more food. So that's our short-term goal, to collect more food from more agencies and then to be able to feed more people. But we also want to start like growing food, maybe like teaching people to grow their own food, kind of just expanding what, feeding people looks like, that it's not just handing out food, but really teaching people to grow their
amazing.
It's
own.
at the old adage, you teach a man how to fish.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad with it. Can someone help me out with that?
Fish for a lifetime.
Yes, you feed them forever. Yeah, there you go.
So for somebody who is in need of food, how can they reach out to Hands for Hunger?
So the way we work is that we work through these partner organizations that are in the community, places like Bethel Baptist Church or Salvation Army, and even smaller ones like LJ's Hilltop Ministries. So we work with a whole lot of different organizations. They're the ones who feed the community.
Okay.
So what we suggest is that people reach out to these community organizations, and then we'll continue to supply them with food.
Right.
And we also have a whole wait list of agencies who
Really?
Right. And so we're really trying to expand our operation and then
to
to be able to
grow.
accommodate more people
Exactly.
and feed more people. Yeah.
So
that's
I
the goal.
wanted to actually talk about Alana Rogers, the founder, because she is a young woman.
Yes.
And we like to promote young women that are really trailblazers on the show. I don't know where she's at with the organization or if she's still actively involved, but do you interact with her? How is the, I guess, chemistry with her and, the organization and how it's growing?
Yeah, so as the founder of the organization, she's on the board, permanently going to be on the board and able to kind of have a say in what it is that the organization does. But also as the founder, she started so many other enterprises of her own. And I think that's what makes her so amazing, is that she is one of those people who not only talks about doing something, but actually goes out and does it.
Yes.
So Hands for Hunger was her project that she started 8 years ago. But since then, she's taken on another initiative and done the True Bahamian Food Tours. And so that's Alana too.
Yeah.
So what that means is she doesn't have as much time to dedicate to Hands for Hunger. But we still call on her when we need her, and she's
got a
right
team
there.
of excellent individuals like herself, so I know she's straight.
And speaking of, women trailblazing, we understand that you have a beautiful family. Your husband, Willis Knowles of Willis and the Illis, I mean, an incredible musician, and you have such a beautiful family. What's it like creating that balance between being the philanthropist, being the businesswoman, and being the wife and the mom and the beautiful woman we see here today? What's that like, striking that balance?
It's a balance. There's definitely a little bit of like working mom guilt, you know? When you come home late and then you see the kids and you're like, oh, I wish I could have just spent some time with you. But the truth is, I love what I do. And so I think that makes it a lot like easier, you know, to be able to be at work and then to come home to these really entertaining kids that we have.
And they're so beautiful.
And so it's just, it's just a matter of striking that balance, but then also just loving what you do, and that makes it a little bit easier.
Zeleka, I've got a very important question to ask you. So with Paradise Plates on the horizon, how should everyone expect to dress?
We get that question a lot.
Style is important.
Fashion is absolutely important.
Do you see this right here? Style is important.
How are we tipping into Paradise Plates at the Atlantis Imperial Ballroom?
Imperial Ballroom.
So you got to step your game up. Tell us what to do. Tell us what is the dress code.
Okay, so we're calling it Island Chic.
Okay.
And so what I'm thinking of is almost like cocktail attire. So like you're going to a reception, but like a colorful one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the truth is that we have people who show up in tuxedos and we have people who show up in flip-flops. So it really is like come as you're comfortable. Dress up, whatever dress up means to you, but just come to have a good time.
Lovely.
So great. So tell us, how can we find Hands for Hunger online, on social media? How can someone reach out to Hands for Hunger today?
All right, so our website is the best place to reach out to us because it has all the information right there, and that's handsforhunger.org.
Okay.
So that's the best place to reach out to us. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram account, so
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Well, Zeleka, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're really looking forward to Paradise Plates this weekend and looking forward to seeing what more Hands for Hunger has in store in the coming years. Be sure to check out Paradise Plates this weekend at the Atlantis Imperial Ballroom. We'll have more of The Stew when we return after this. Welcome back to The Stew. I'm Les with your arts and entertainment play-by-play on what's happening in TV, film, and theater right here at home. Presently playing at the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts on Mackey Street is the 8th annual Shakespeare in Paradise Theater Festival with 5 productions and 27 performances. The signature productions being Shakespeare's Macbeth and the Bahamian play You Can Lead a Horse to Water by Bahamian playwright Winston Saunders. It promises to be a great show altogether. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. And now for TV and film. It's a new season, the fall season, so let's get ready to fall into some really good TV. Some of your favorites are returning, but new in theaters. First up, we have the adventure fantasy where two worlds collide and danger ensues, starring Ava Green, Samuel L. Jackson, and Asa Butterfield in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Also in theaters, you don't want to miss the action drama Deepwater Horizon, based on actual events. It's the story of the offshore drilling rig Deepwater Horizon, which exploded back in April 2010, which happened to be the worst spill in U.S. history. Switching gears now, I personally can't wait for Luke Cage to start on Netflix. It's a spin-off of Jessica Jones, also a hit on Netflix. But check out the CBS lineup next next week. All your favorites, Madam Secretary, Elementary, and Scorpion, all debut their fall season premieres next week. And then we have The Mindy Project on Hulu. On the CW, you've got The Flash and Arrow, and for ABC and NBC, Conviction and Timeless also begin next week. And there you have your arts and entertainment play-by-play with Les right here on The Stew. I'll see you next time.
Jackpot. Anytime, anywhere. Download the app today at islandlock.com.
Sunday, Monday, play quick draw. Tuesday, Wednesday, play quick draw. Thursday, Friday, play quick draw. Play Saturday, Sunday, every day just for you. Every 30 minutes is a draw. You can win it all. You can win it. Watch the number fall on 2 to 4. All of quick draw. Quick Draw, the Bahamas' first live 3-ball game. Exclusively powered by Island Luck.
Welcome back to The Stew. Thank you so much for joining us for a very happy Friday indeed. We've talked numbers for Carnival and numbers in dollars and cents from Mr. Kevin Hart. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Mrs. Zeleka Knowles from Hands for Hunger, for dishing on what we can expect from this year's Paradise Plates. We'll see you guys on Monday, same time, same place, right here on Cable Channel 224. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time.
When the vibe is right.